Hey guys, so today I'm going to be bringing you an update video and I'm going to be doing two separate ones. The first is going to be what happened next once I'd been to see the ENT and I had the CT scan. So let's talk about that. First of all, guys, can I just say a big thank you for viewing the videos, especially that first one. That kind of got more views than I ever thought possible, but I'm glad it did because it brought awareness to nasal cancer. I'd never heard of nasal cancer before. I'd never even thought that you could get a polyp in your nose. I knew that you could get it in your stomach because my mum's had one, so I knew that you could get polyps there, but not actually up your nose. And mine's the size of a grape. So let's talk about that. I've had quite a few people say, oh, a polyp's not that big a deal. Well, when it's that big, it is that big a deal because it affects your breathing. So like I said to you, they were testing me for cancer, nasal cancer. I didn't actually know, but they was also testing me for head and neck cancers. I got a letter back from Macmillan. I wish I could show it to you. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. No, I can't actually find it, so I'll just talk you through what they said. So a Macmillan consultant wrote to me and said that they didn't see any head and neck cancers, so that was good. But that didn't rule out that there was cancer in the polyp, so they need to do a biopsy on that, and the ENT would speak to me at that point when I go back to the clinic. But even before that, just getting my results back from the radiographer, getting the radiographer to send the report to the ENT was just absolutely horrific. The amount of times I had to ring them just because I was worried. Obviously, it's cancer. You're going to worry, aren't you? So I kept ringing them. I was on the case all the time, so I kept ringing my ENT secretary. And I said, look, it's been a long period of time now. It'd been like 6 weeks. So she's like, yeah, they're really behind at the moment. And I said, yeah, but it was an emergency appointment I had. It wasn't just a general appointment. It wasn't just a general CT scan. And she said, yeah, but even still, she said, it doesn't matter. She said, it just depends on where you are on the list. So we're all just a number now, aren't we, guys? Anyway, that was that. And she said, tell you what, she said, if you've not heard anything by next week, she said, because I can see that you've been waiting a while, ring me back and I'll try and push you up the list a little bit. Which I don't know how she would even be able to do that because she doesn't work actually in the CT scan department. I think she was going to get the doctor to ring the CT scan department and just figure out what the hell was going on. So anyway, I still hadn't heard anything the week later, so I rung up and she didn't even remember who I was, which is fair enough because obviously the amount of people that must ring that office, that must be under the same ENT that I am. So I said, look, you told me to ring back if I hadn't had a letter or a phone call. I still haven't. Can you have a look at the report? Is the report even there with my ENT? So she looked and she said, no, it's still not here. It was showing a partial reading. Well, she said it's a partial report. And I said, well, what does that mean? And she said, it means that it hasn't been written up yet. And I said, right, okay. I said, so when will it get written up? It's been 6 weeks already. So anyway, she got in contact with the CT scan department. CT scan department said that it shouldn't be too much longer. I think I was waiting an extra week, and then I got a letter from the hospital stating that they want to see me in 4 weeks' time. So I was waiting another 4 weeks. So I was waiting like a good 3 months to actually go and see my ENT from the point of you seeing the first video that I posted. So in my opinion, 3 months is just too long. It was an emergency appointment to begin with. So when you get sent to an emergency appointment, it should be classed as an emergency. So that was that. So after I'd been to the ENT and had the CT scan, I was feeling so much pain and I just wasn't getting any better. And I'm like, I wonder if there's something more to this. So I kind of Googled, and I know you shouldn't Google anything, you shouldn't definitely Google symptoms, and it was coming up with sinusitis, and I'm thinking, I wonder if I've got sinusitis. And I went to the doctor and just said to them, you know, where I had the pain, and, you know, it just wasn't going away. And he said, well, what do you think it is? And I said, well, I've been looking into sinusitis. I'm wondering if I've got that. And he said, I think you've got bacterial sinusitis. I mean, you've had this now for a long period of time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you some antibiotics and we'll see how you go from that. He said, if you get any worse, you need to come back straight away and see me, and we'll probably have to get you into hospital because you can't carry on like this. So I was really worried about that. As someone who is terrified of hospitals, who has a fear of hospitals, who hasn't spent much time in hospitals, I didn't want to be in hospital for any length of time. So anyway, I got the antibiotics, and within a week, not even a week, 3 or 4 days, I was starting to feel so much better. Didn't have any pains, that had all gone, and I was starting to speak more clearer. Now, if you listen to my voice now and you go back to that first video I posted, I sound a lot worse than I do now. I am, like the last few days over the weekend, I have been getting a lot of pain though in this like kind of right side here and like here. So I have been getting a lot of pain. So I hope I'm not getting another infection, just because the problems haven't been dealt with and you're prone to get infections if a polyp hasn't been removed, and they need to do something with the sinuses, which I'll talk about in the next video. So when I went back to the ENT, I just thought I was going to talk about one thing. It turned out to be so much more. It wasn't good, not for me anyway. I mean, you know, there was no mention of cancer. They would have to do a biopsy on the polyp to actually say yes or no on that front, I think. So this is everything for this video. This is dragged on for far too long. It's longer than So I'm going to leave it here now, guys, and I'll be bringing you an update next week sometime, probably midweek or towards the end of the week. I just want people to see this one first, because it was requested, and a lot of people have been taking the time to ask how I'm doing, which I really, really appreciate, especially as I'm only a small page. And prior to me posting that video, the first video about nasal cancer, it was just makeup on my channel, like pictures, photos, not even videos, because I don't really feel comfortable in doing videos. I do have a little bit of a stutter, so you know, I don't really feel comfortable doing them, but it was important to me. It was important to get the message out there, you know, to basically tell everyone, if you get any of these symptoms, go to your doctor, because it could be nasal cancer. I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying it could be, and it's always better to get checked out by your GP. So thank you for listening. I really, really do appreciate it. Also, thank you for following me if you've done that recently. I appreciate that as well. Again, there'll be another video going out next week, and you'll see my face again then.